Hello, StarCraft fans! This is Falcon Paladin coming to you with yet another edition of StarCraft Brood War Remastered. Today we've got a game between Rox-EX and Ty2 here on Fighting Spirit. In the top right-hand corner of the map, we have the yellow Terran player. His name is Rox-EX. I'll just call him Rox from now on. And in the top left-hand corner of the map, it is the white Zerg player. Whoa, that hatchery looks weird. It is Ty2. Ty2 got this replay off of bwreplays.com. Yes, these players are not super well known, but their APM was high enough that I feel like they have a general grasp on how to play Brood War and the skills to execute. So bwreplays.com, good place to go to find amazing Brood War replays. You can load it up in Brood War Remastered, StarCraft Remastered, I believe is what they're just calling it, and go to town. Really enjoy it. I'm liking this. I'm liking these remastered casts. They're very fun to cast. Really takes me back to when I was a teenager first playing StarCraft for the first time. I was huge into Warcraft 2. Warcraft 2 was my first RTS, and it was da bomb. I was obsessed with it. I would play it. I would read the art booklets. I would be so amazed when I found new units. Boats? Ships? What? And you can make bigger boats? This was amazing. Sea Warfare just blew my mind. And then StarCraft came out, and I never touched Warcraft 2 again. It was just a better game. It was better. It was well made. The campaign was fantastic. The visuals for the time were beautiful. I was just smitten with StarCraft and have never stopped playing it. Ever since 1997 to today, StarCraft has been my first love when it comes to gaming. All right, what are we doing here? Is anybody expanding? Yeah, bringing 2 drones down. I guess just making sure there's not going to be a bunker or something crazy here from the Terran player. But no, he's actually expanding himself now. Is he skipping barrack? No, that is a barracks. Okay, I was going to say, that'd be a weird place to put a command center first. Overlord scouts in, sees there's not an expansion yet. We do have an SCV pushing on in to see what's going on back over on the Zerg side of things. Actually, let's check our... We are on fastest, yes. Yeah, the speed does look good. There's your spawning pool. Extractor should be coming up here, and next of all, SCV can't do much to stop this from going down. Didn't really expect it to be happening. And really just waiting for his own barracks to finish back here. So the pathing, if you'll notice, what is this going up? Oh, it's a supply depot back there. Okay, so I kind of like this. I think this is intended to prevent SCVs from going around the backside of these mineral patches and mining from here. It's a weird pathing problem that Brood War has always kind of had. Like, you'll notice these guys coming around on the wrong side of the minerals. These, you'll see them coming all the way back here, too. And it's just inefficient mining. So throwing down a supply depot there means the SCVs won't go back around this side and go from the back. Still might be a concern up there, but I don't know. I don't actually know. Did he actually just fake tossing up a bunker and then cancel it? Is that a thing? No, I don't think that's what happened. I heard something explode, though. Maybe I should go back. I can't go back. We're not going to go back. Inconsequential. We're not going to worry about it. There's your extractor popping on up for Ty2. You can call him Ty. Ty versus Rox. Easy enough. I like it when players have single-syllable names. It makes my job extraordinarily easier here. Marines in production, actually moving on out, hopefully trying to catch a scouting overlord. And yep, SCV goes down, Lings out, drones out here too. How many Lings do you need to deal with a single Marine? Just a couple. Just a couple. Even if they're slow, unupgraded Marines are pretty bad against unupgraded Zerglings, which is weird because further on in the game, upgraded Marines are really good against Lings, even if they're upgraded themselves. Continuing to produce stuff on up here. That's going to be another barracks. 2 barracks opening with an expansion behind it is Rox-EX. So he's not going crazy. Couple Zerglings running on up. There are 4 Marines versus 2 Lings. The math does not work out for the white Zerg player. We're going to scout up anyway, see what we're dealing with. I guess the Overlord did already scout in here and see that there was an expansion. Got chased away by the Marines a bit, but managed to keep his own head. Macro hatch on the way from Rox-EX. Actually done with the macro hatch. I like that. Macro hatch is extraordinarily good in Brood War. Additional larva production is fantastic. There are no queens to cheat. There aren't any queens to continue producing extra larvae. You just got to have those hatcheries and wait for them to pop on off. Lair just about done for Rox-EX at 4.5 minutes, which seems quite early out of the white Zerg player. Actually, is this close to done? No, that progress bar is actually for the health bar. That's not a progress bar at all. Never mind. It's getting there. Let's just say it's getting there. Metabolic boost on the way. Speed for Lings. Really good. If you're going to have any number of Zerglings at all, you want speed. And even if you're not planning on making Zerglings, get speed anyway, because emergency Lings are always nice. They don't take that long to finish. They are very fast. They can be where you need them. If you're defending your third base down here, if you need to meet your natural, they can show up and help. So get speed. Just do it. Never skip speed. Unless you're going, I mean, Unless you're really going for a super aggressive 2-base Muta thing, but even then you want Lings as your mineral dump, so in that case, just get speed. That's all I'm saying. There is a Spire, and there is no third base yet from Ty, so it does make me feel like it's going to be 2-base Muta. Marine count is continuing to increase here, getting some medics out of these barracks now, as you can see up on the production tab. Where are you? Terran medics. And still no aggression from the Terran player yet, which concerns me. Got a couple sunken colonies, well, creep colonies up. They're not sunken yet. Looks like Ty is preparing to turn them into sunkens if he needs to. These Lings are making sure they know if an attack is going to come or not. Engineering Bay, Academy coming up, researching STEM. You definitely want STEM if you have a lot of bio, just because it increases their attack speed, and increasing DPS is very, very nice in any kind of a game. You're do more damage per second, it's a good thing. All right, so here we go. Sunkens, another, that's a creep colony, so that one's not as sunken yet. So he knows this is a very common timing attack for Terran. Oh, the Ling snuck in the back way when the Terran player wasn't paying attention. Got speed though. Running, just trying to make sure this attack is slowed down, but no. Rox is not dissuaded. He's coming up here anyway. He sees the 2 sunkens. He sees the creep colony that's not done yet. He can handle 2 sunkens. He can do it. If he stims nicely and the medics are placed well, does he want to do it here? He can. But I think he's worried about Lings coming from the backside and backstabbing him while he's doing that. So he decides to pull on back, especially, oh, with that 3rd sunken colony there. Yeah, never mind. I thought this was going to be a creep, but already went creep and then went to sunken. Upgrading range on the Marines, which is really useful in dealing with things like static defense, and 9 mutas on the way from Ty. 9 mutalisks going to be a problem for our Terran player. Does he have, yep, missile turrets on the way. He knows the timing. He knows how to do this thing. Get missile turrets. Make sure your Marine count is pretty good. Got 2 turrets at the natural base, and the main base not as protected. Is that another? Yeah, that's another one. Okay, getting some static defense there as well. Muta's trying to find in the natural base. They shouldn't be able to find much purchase here. Oh, they do stop production on that 1 missile turret, though. That's pretty good. It's a 3rd one. Pretty good bunching up going on here, and do take down one of the missile turrets, but taking ridiculous shots from the turret. From one of the 2 turrets here. Picking off Marines. Pretty darn good control out of the Muta player right now. Following the Muta was probably a bad idea. Sorry about that. This is much easier to figure out what's going on, and probably less motion sickness inducing. Some hydras in production for Ty. Lurkers coming in here too. Lurkers very good against the bio. Picking off the medics. All right. So these Mutas are doing fairly well for themselves. Let's see if I can get a kill count on these guys. 1 kill. Even 1 kill for a Muta is pretty good at this stage. 3, 1, 1. It looks like everybody seems to have at least 1 in this flock. Even taking missile turret shots, they're doing pretty well. SCV's dying here too. Not bad. APM about 250 for each of these players. It does take some pretty good APM to make this happen and be expanding behind it and being macroing behind it. Sitting on about 200 minerals and 500 gas is Ty. It's continuing to make lurkers, getting some more hydras, Lings, expanding, upgrading to a hive. He's spending his money. He's doing all right. Rox-EX too did take some shots there. He's bleeding a little bit, but otherwise sticking to his plan, continuing to make Marines, getting additional barracks coming up here, working on a science facility with a Terran control tower on the starport. There it is. There's the add-on. Gonna go for that irradiate off the science vessels. It's a real good way to discourage mutalisks from flying on in. If they get irradiated and they're forced to split, that really slows things down. Really just kind of halts mutalisk harassment in its tracks. So 3rd base just about to pop here for the Zerg player. Ty. Lings in the middle of the map, just making sure that Rox-EX isn't expanding here. It's a very lucrative place to expand, but it's so hard to hold because it's wide open at the top and on the bottom, and you can set up things like hydras and tanks on the other side of these walls and just wreck the mining SCVs and drones and stuff from there. So don't usually see this middle section taken, but it's always there. It's always tempting if and you want it. There's our first science vessel popping out of our friend, the starport, with that control tower and the science facility. We need all of these pieces to make that happen. And here comes a nice push. Got a couple tanks, whole ton of Marines with +1 attack. I heard a lurker burrow. Where are you at, lurkers? 3 lurkers. And are you hold positioning? Hold position, lurker. And there it is. Oh, the massacre. Lings at the front trying to do stuff. Lurkers are taking direct damage. And Muta's flying on in here too. What an absolute disgusting trap from the Zerg player. Everybody from Rox-EX army gets massacred there. I think all the lurkers died, but they were willing to sacrifice themselves for the swarm. Muta's murdering medics there. Is there an irradiate available? 66 energy. No, there was not. They are so... Oh, that Science Vessel crew is so lucky that the mutas didn't finish them off there. You're going to have to breathe a big sigh of relief there. Wipe the sweat off your forehead. Defiler Mound just about done for the Zerg player. As always, it's going to be Dark Swarm, Lurkers, Lings. Going to be that, with some Hydras, that endgame composition for the Zerg player. And he's just about there here at about 10 minutes into the game. It is 63 to 83 total supplies. Zerg player looking pretty fantastic. When it comes right down to it, working on the consume ability for Defilers. They can consume friendly units and gain energy that way. Zerglings are very cheap. And they're great consume targets. Although I've seen Defilers consume other stuff in a pinch, in an emergency. Lings are definitely the preferred target here. You can actually consume Ultralisks, which is kind of stupid looking and really inefficient. Don't do that. Don't do that unless it's the weirdest situation in the whole world where you have to get a Dark Swarm out and the only thing you consume is an Ultra that's nearby and it's worthless otherwise, but I don't even think that's a situation. Oh, Irradiate is being researched by our Terran player, so that poor Science Vessel did not have the ability to even Irradiate when I thought maybe they did. Righto, upgrade. You gotta research these things. Scourge coming out from the Spire. Scourge, a pretty good counter to the Science Vessel. Chase them down, explode them with that little suicide attack that we talked about last week. Maybe a couple weeks ago now. No, it was last week. We talked about suicide. Irradiate on that Lurker. Doesn't one-shot the dude, but hurts him pretty immensely. As you can see here, he was full health, and he is down to... Oh, it did one-shot him. What, the numbers? It doesn't one-shot Ultras. Okay, is that it? It does one-shot Lurkers? Apparently. I mean, that Lurker absolutely was at 100% health when it went down. Overlords don't have speed, and it's not being researched either by Ty. So third base up. No third base at all from Rox-EX, which means his army's going to be pretty big and fairly intimidating right now. How are the upgrades looking on these dudes? +1/+1 is now done on them. Got a couple science vessels. Losing those tanks during that first attack was a big deal. Tanks are fantastic for sieging up, getting rid of these Lurkers that are a huge problem for this bio. I mean, you can irradiate them down. He sees the scans, sees 3 burrowed Lurkers, gets one of them, and actually getting some damage into that Defiler before he hides in the Nidus Canal, which will pop him out here. There he is. Hello, Defiler. You're actually kind of cute. Kind of cuter in remastered graphics, turns out. Getting pneumatized Carapace, faster Overlord movement on the way. The Terran player, on the other hand, is just continuing to work on a lot of bio. Getting some Vultures in here, too. Might be making that transition to mech that we saw in our last TVZ that was played. That might actually be what we're going for, but I don't know. We'll have to wait and see here. Additional factories on the way, getting a Competat station, continuing to pump Vultures, and getting a bunker. So third base happily up and running for Rox-EX along the right side. Fourth base done for Ty. It looks like this... I just feel like Ty might be the better player here. He's expanding better. He's defending extremely well. The Terran player has not made a mark upon the Zerg player's bases at all. He hasn't touched anything. Has he killed any buildings? I don't feel like he has. Not a single one. A macro hatch coming up at the front? Is that what that is? Is that the Ultralisk Cavern? Is he putting the Ultra Cavern at the front? That's a Nidus Canal Creep Colony. Okay, so that's another Nidus. Why the what? I don't know. I don't know why he put a Nidus at the front. Maybe for walling purposes? Perhaps for walling purposes. Muta's harassing, trying to do stuff, but again, Marines chasing him. Science Vessels, there's your Irradiate. There is your irradiated Muta doing damage to his fellows as well. And he dies before he can do too much more damage. That is fantastic. Are they going to fly over? Oh, here it is. Don't stand and fight against these Marines. Okay, Mutas. That might have put him back a little bit. Might have put TY back a little bit here. Rox is sitting on 3,100 minerals. He really needs to be getting additional supply depots, and he is. He's still sitting at about 200. He's at about 300 APM here, looking fantastic. He's got a pretty good spread across the map here. You notice there's yellow all the way throughout the middle here. He's trying to set up a bit of a contain against the Zerg player, and so far I'd say it's working. I mean, TY hasn't mounted any kind of a real attack for a while now. Looks like he might be trying to expand up here for a 5th base near his main. Overlord scouting on in, seeing what they're dealing with, and it is at so much bio with a bunch of Vultures. Throwing down their Spider Mines, only 3 of them per a Vulture. They're not infinite here, and trying to hold the line or some Lings. There's the Dark Swarm, and that means the Vultures need to get out of there. to get ahead. And the Ling probably shouldn't be doing this either. Lurkers get back to the safety. Oh, got irradiated before it could escape. And it did get murdered. 120 to 125 total supply. This is actually looking very close indeed. Irradiating defilers. Beautiful stuff. Oh, Plague being tossed down on the science vessels, though. That will bring them down to 1 hit point. Did he whiff with that one? Might have whiffed with that one. This defiler goes down to irradiate as well. That was some pretty intense back and forth there. 133 to 130 total supply, though. Both players are neck and neck when it comes to army and income. Ling's running through a Spider-Mine minefield for scouting and perhaps just to clear the minefield a little bit. Again, Lings are cheap. Ty, I guess he's sitting on 500 minerals. He doesn't have a significant bank here. Either way. Oh, no, the science vessels were down to 1 hit point. They all got destroyed by that spore crawler. Holy crap. That was really bad news. Link's continuing to run in, triggering spider mines, tanks firing as well. Scourge getting cleared off, saving that science vessel. Excellent job. Excellent job by Rox there. And sneaking on up, SCVs expanding in the bottom right-hand corner here. Rox-EX has done a great job continuing to expand, continuing to make supply depots. You gotta keep making supply depots, dude. You're doing everything else so well, but you're a little supply blocked, and you have a bit of a bank going on here. Terran is kind of hard to continue to macro that way. So Ultra's now popping out. Now I mentioned there was an Ultralisk Cavern coming up. They've got 3 armor and +1 attack. Ultra's looking pretty darn scary here. A couple Nidus Canals. Looks like they might pop to each of these individual bases. It's a 1-to-1 ratio for these, so yeah. Yeah, if he goes to the right one, then it goes to this right base at the bottom here. If it goes to the left one, it goes to the left base at the bottom here. But they're close enough. I don't know why he necessarily needs those Nidus Canals that close, but whatever. It's fine. They're not that expensive, and at this stage of the game, not a big deal. 167 to 144 total supply. Ty's pulled ahead. He is supply blocked, making a couple overlords. He's working on Anabolic Synthesis, which is faster Ultralisk movement. Ultra speed upgrade. Can you believe that? StarCraft 2 players? I don't know. I don't know if faster Ultras would probably break the game, but in Brood War they were fine. I mean, continuing to just pump these guys out. Working on melee attack upgrades for them as well, but there's a lot of yellow out here. There is a lot of yellow. Upgrades on the Marines. How are they looking? Still +1/+1, which is not great for this stage of the game. And no additional upgrades coming in for the bio either. Might be going for that mech transition, honestly. He's continuing to make tanks and make vultures. He's got missile turrets. Again, Lings just dragging themselves through minefields, through tank fields, and getting murdered thus far. Again, trying to break on in, but no. Not happening. The Ultra drops! Oh, the Ultra drops right on top of the tanks, right on top of these missile turrets. Taking some spider mine hits, taking a lot of tank splash as well. The tanks do not have upgrades, but it doesn't matter. They hit hard against big target, big time units like these Ultralisks. And he kind of breaks out, kind of gives himself a little bit more of some breathing room. Does Ty here, but he is not safe yet. Oh, that Ultra just crunched. Just crunched. Oh, Ultra dropped with Dark Swarm inside the main base. Where did this guy come from? I don't know. He has 8 kills, which is pretty fantastic, but he's out of the Dark Swarm. He's taking damage. Get back inside. There we go. Back inside, where he's essentially invulnerable here. Oh, and Rox-EX taps out. Oh, he taps out. Oh, okay. He was losing his 3rd base down here as well to a Ling Ultra attack. There was stuff going on there at the same time. So, wow. So, okay, hang on. Can we back this up a teeny tiny bit? Is that even possible right now? Ah! Sort of? Yes. Yes, it was. All right, so, yeah, Ultra's doing stuff up here. The 3rd base was under assault as well, and the 4th base had the Dark Swarm. Okay, up, pause, down. Oh, it's a lurker. There was a lurker down here. And then just more attacks at the front here. Okay. Bad news bears. Bad news bears for Rox. He was being attacked at 3 different fronts at the same time and just couldn't quite handle it. Couldn't quite make it happen. Was spending his money at the end there. Lurker trying to get out of the range of this tank. And yeah, and then just a straight up counter, just big old attack from this 4th base location up to this 4th base location of Rox-EX. And that's what, yeah, he saw this was it. This was the tap out. So good one. Good game by Ty. I thought for a second there he was contained. He wasn't really able to go anywhere, but he was able to break out just a little bit. He was able to get some Ultra Drops with Dark Swarm inside the main base of his opponent while simultaneously going after his 3rd and 4th bases. That is a good win condition. Good win condition for sure. All right, so that's going to be it from me. This has been Falcon Paladin coming to you with yet another edition of StarCraft Brood War Remastered. Go ahead and hit that like button. Hit that subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, and Patreon, all at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.